Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into another episode of TheWunderkindShow. Today's first topic, running back blues. Look, so this came out actually about a day ago, and I was waiting on touching on it. And it's an uncomfortable conversation that will be on the forefront of a lot of media reports, especially about the Ravens going forward or in the foreseeable future. And what I mean by that is we have one guy named J.K. Dobbins, an electrifying young running back who, has been injured the last year. And even last year was coming back from that injury. And he wants to get paid. Just like all of the running backs in the league, they want to be paid comparable to the amount of contribution they feel that they are giving the team. The problem is they are involved in a very ugly dispute with the NFL in its entirety because they are playing a position that is not just being devalued, right? It's being taken advantage of. Because it's one thing when you devalue something, you might have one or two pop up and be like, well, they're the exceptions, right? But overall, it's devalued. But then it's become even the exceptional running backs are being highly disrespected by not just media, but owners and fans. And they met for a big old, meetup where they were on a big Zoom call. And one of the things that was discussed, 'cause this is what today's topic is on, that was discussed was I'm going to read it to you because this was on Dov Kleiman, right? At Saturday night's running back Zoom call. This is on Saturday, okay? The issue of holding in by exaggerating or fabricating injuries was discussed. Multiple sources tell. Now, I'm going to say this name because I don't trust a lot from this name, but this is what they said. Multiple sources told Mike Florio, liar, liar, pants on fire, the details of the meeting. Much of the focus eventually went to agents, even though agents were excluded from the call. Here's the thing. This is a problem for the foreseeable future for a multitude of reasons. One, the Ravens are pretty much at a junction where they're trying to win now. Lamar Jackson is past his rookie contract. To sit back and believe Lamar's already been in the league for 6 years or 5 years going, and this is his 6th. So the Ravens now can waste no more time. No more time will be afforded to the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. It's win now. And that's the only true leverage that JK has, honestly, because you've seen that they've already picked up another running back, even though we got 4 of them. Now we have 5 of them, right? Just in case JK holds in or holds out. And there's multiple reports that are coming out that they could keep him on the PUP list all season long, and it will not make him a free agent next season. Yes, all of these things are coming to the forefront. I really do feel for all the running backs. And here's my thing, right? It's probably the most physical position. That and linebacker are 2 of the most physical positions in the entire NFL. That's why the shelf lives aren't long for them, because the collisions that they take, it's not just taking a collision, they're giving collision also. Their bodies are screaming now, help! You know how much wear and tear they put on? Imagine running through a wall 25 times a day. Matter of fact, because it's, a day. Reason why, because you have practices, you have training, all that stuff. And it might not hit as hard as during a game, but you're doing it all week long, and then you take it to a whole nother level and notch on game day. There was somebody that reported that was a former NFL player that was actually commenting under one of the videos, and they said sometimes you have to lift weights and stuff just so that your muscles don't stiffen out. That's to keep it stretched, to keep them like, man, because the wear and tear that these guys put on their body is immense. That's why I feel for the running backs, because they're trying to make as much money and play at the highest level possible for as long as possible, but the position doesn't really afford them that. But the way that the league is set it up is that all we got to do is pay your rookie contract, and then we'll franchise tag you, and then you're done. Benito, finish, bye-bye. And the reason why no one wants to sign a franchise tag is because if you get hurt, there's no security. Everybody that's not in that predicament is going to be like, oh, well, that's what you signed up for. Like, bro, like, come on now. Be realistic. Be realistic. This is something that is problematic for all running backs. And look, everyone's going to say, like, the position is devalued. It's a different time and age and stuff like that. Might I remind you, some of the best football players in the league as of right now are still running backs. How many players are going to say is better than Derrick Henry? How many players are going to say is better than CMC? Think about it real quick. If I was Saquon Barkley, I'd be pissed off too. The quarterback who didn't even throw, 20 touchdowns got paid buco money because they were running and receiving and drilling me into the ground to get every ounce or every yard I can get. Daniel Jones last year was a byproduct of Saquon Barkley. And he didn't just he got what he wanted. He didn't, like, think about it. People said there was no way they were paying $40 million a year. He got a little more than that. So, like I tell people all the time, you have to be cognizant of what people are going through, and I am, especially when it comes to the running back market. The problem that the Ravens are going to come into, and that's the problem that JK is coming into, is that he has yet to have that big year. That footprint or stamped year where it's like, yo, I rushed for 16, 17, 18, 19, 2,000 yards and say that's my production. I deserve to be paid and compensated for my hard work and what I contribute to this team. The problem with JK is he's been injured. Or his first year, he was underutilized. That's probably why he's pissed off. Because JK is probably one of those backs that I would have hit the ground running like Zeke first year if y'all would have let me. Right? That's how he's thinking. He's like, bro, look how much touchdowns and yards I had after y'all allowed me to carry the rock. If y'all would have let me do that from the beginning of the season, I would have had 1,500 or 1,600 yards. And then the very next season, they're like, okay, we're going to give you the ball. He gets injured. Now we're on to, then he gets injured. Then he's out for the whole year. The next year, he's coming back still from that injury. And then he starts to get it going. I think he was averaging like 90-something yards a game when he came back. And he wasn't even 100%. And I think he was averaging like a touchdown a game. And the team underutilized him in the playoff game. So make no mistake, that's the problem going against JK. That's why he's pissed. Injury and underutilization has hindered his career thus far. But because of those two things, woulda, coulda, shoulda plays a part. Because then you haven't shown us you can even get 1,000 yards. Because you never did. No matter what it looked like you did in a short burst, what did you do altogether? And that's the problem JK is running into. Look, I don't think he would fake an injury. But now with that report coming out, with the injury that he had, it was keeping him around a minicamp, it makes you wonder. You get where I'm coming from? And I'm not, listen, like I said before, I think, I don't think he'll do that personally. I think he'll play, and I think he'll play his butt off. I told a lot of people I think he's going to get around 1,100 or 1,200 yards rushing, but I have him going for about 800 yards receiving this year. He's probably going to have 19 to 2,000 yards of total offense this season. So I think he's going to have a monster year. A monster year. And I don't think he's going to hold out because I think he's going to say, you know what, let me show you. I really, truly do. And I hope that he's not, because all it's going to do is hurt him moving forward, not just with the Ravens. Because these teams can be vindictive. Like, y'all, as fans, a lot of fans don't care what the players are going through. They just want to be entertained. And if once you're not entertaining enough, get out my face. That's a lot of fans act like. But teams can be very vindictive towards the players if they feel like the players are trying to, play hardball and stuff like that. They'll get petty. So that's where this is going. I think it's something that has to be addressed because we don't want that. Listen, you do not want to see a league without running backs. Everyone's going to say, oh, it's the most replaceable. Did y'all see some of the bad running backs throughout the years? Y'all telling me, well, your team, when the dude fumbles the ball 3-4 times in one game, you'll be like, oh my God, where's my running back? So I'm not saying to give them a mountain, but you got to be fair. Proper compensation for the best of the best. That's what this is. Creme de la creme. The cream rises to the top. Pay them accordingly. Everyone's saying, well, the teams that won had amazing quarterbacks and amazing receivers. That's how they won the last couple of Super Bowls and stuff like that. That's how. Everyone's going to say, well, what about even the Ravens? Joe Flacco played out of his mind. And we wouldn't even have made it that far if it wasn't for our running back, Ray Rice. Like, come on now. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people have to take things and they just look at the number and say, oh, look, all of them they didn't really pay their running backs. That's why they don't get paid. So what are you going to say about a Derrick Henry that's literally like 90% of the offense for his team? It's not his fault his team there's been games where we've seen he's rushed for 200 yards. And then the quarterback throw 2-3 interceptions. And they lose. And you're like, bruh, that man got 3 touchdowns, 220 yards on the ground, 30, 40 yards receiving, and they lose because the quarterback can't stop turning over the ball. Are you going to say that, oh, well, that doesn't equate to winning? That's called having context. But when it comes to money and athletes, fans do not like to give context. They don't. And it's something that a lot of fans need to develop. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It needs to happen quick. And for anybody that believes that the NFL can do without running backs, stop being foolish. Be an adult. Have some wisdom. Have some compassion. Please. You understand? And that's another episode of The Wonder Kid Show. Thank y'all all for watching. I know how we get down, we laugh, and we joke, but everything we talk about is rooted in what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. You know I love the comments. Just be respectful when you leave them. That's literally all I ask, and we're good. And if you would like to donate to this channel, bottom of the screen is a QR code. QR code's to a Cash App. Cash App's how we do all donations and stuff like that, and it's located in the description of every video that we do. And the name of it is The Wunderkind Show. Also available is the Patreon. 3 tiers. Go check it out. Definitely worth it. More content. It's crazy big. And especially during the regular season when certain stuff starts speeding up and ramping back up, a lot of people's going to be like, oh my God, that's a crazy good deal. And I'm saying, yep, it really was. So go check that out and tell me what you guys think. But once again, this is The Wunderkind Show. This show's Nitro signing off. And as always, you guys know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Yep.